Alright guys, this old Mark 1 Rabbit was sitting here for about 4 or 5 years. Let's see if we can make it run. The timing belt looks so bad that I think I better change it first. So we're going to pull it in the bay and change that. It did drive to where it's at. The problem is the fuel I think got so old that it just wouldn't start last time I went to start it. And it sat there for another year because of that. So let's get it back on the road. And then we're going to go ahead and proceed and do a repaint on it, and I've already got all the materials. We're gonna do some new things to it to make it look really nice, and then take a look at it when it's all done. All right, talk to you later. All right, I figured I'd show you guys this. I'm waiting for the battery to see if it's gonna charge up. I sure hope so. Probably not. This is how you get the mirrors off. You twist them one direction. Take this one loose. Because I've got to get all this rust out of here, which is in a bad place to get out. I'm going to have to take out the wind wings and everything. That without damaging the rubber. I don't want to replace everything, that's for sure. Usually these are threaded, but feels like maybe this one has a nut. How to make it fun. Yeah, it looks like it does. Okay, well I guess I got to take the whole thing apart, but door panel's got to come off this time. But usually you twist it one way and you get one of them, twist the other way, get the other one. And I'll show you how to get the the mirror has a cable and all this stuff, so looks like I'm gonna take the whole doors all apart. That'll be fun. Okay, it's kind of how this thing's starting out. So the battery's dead. Gotta empty the fuel out of the tank. Put a new timing belt in it, and then jack out the rubber and sand it down and get rid of this rust here and paint it, and do some body work. I guess we'll do all that as we get going, but I'm going to show you also real quick how to get that rubber out. This rubber right here is tricky, and I have to do those, the bottom ones. I don't know if these are available, so that's part of the problem. It's not because I'm just being cheap. A lot of the stuff just, you can't buy it, or it's out of stock, or whatever. So anyway, so these are a little different. Let's do a little more restoration here. So this one here, you start in the front, or in the middle, and you lift it up. I did find these, and you take it out this direction, and it comes out of the chrome. So the chrome stays in place, and you pull the rubber out. Now you'll see these are available some places, the ones with no chrome, but you can't find any of the ones that have chrome. And basically the difference is this edge is a little bit longer, and what I'm hoping I can do is I can probably take some shears and trim that down and maybe grind this edge a little bit and then get it to fit in the chrome groove. I kind of want to keep the chrome because it's already there, and I don't want to have to replace the whole rubber that's not available. I can't find these. Well, you can find them. They're not cheap, but so that means I got to take all this apart though to get. I think I have to take it all out to get this out. Let me see if it. This one comes out from the bottom. It's just got little groove clips on it, so I'm probably gonna take the glass out to be able to reach up in there and knock them off and everything. That's what it looks like. Typical Volkswagen. You got to do it all. And it goes in one way. Everything goes in one piece at a time. So then I'll take this mirror off, get all this all prepped out. Just doing these doors is it's gonna add some time to this project. That's probably gonna take me almost a week just to do the doors on the rubber. All right, I got the mirror out, but you got to take this thing out here, and then there's a C-clip. So once you get it off, you have to take the door panel off, get the C-clip out, then you can get the mirror out. Just this thing fits out that hole. I haven't been a long time since I had one of these apart. It's look pretty clean, but there's just a little bit. I think it looks like a little bit of the surface rust. Can't tell if it's that or dirt. Well, it's dirt. I'll clean that out of there good, and probably coat that with something. Don't want to make sure it doesn't rust again or ever. So anyway, so the next guy who has this thing won't have any rust issues, I'm sure. This thing's actually pretty nice, other than this right here. This is a mess. I got to get all this off and then strip this whole area, get that all to raw metal, and put some epoxy or something on there and make sure it doesn't ever get rusted again. And coat that really good, and I'll mask it off and paint it, then put all this all back together. But man, it's no easy one to get apart. I think I got a screw there to take off, and then this little trim inside metal piece comes off. I don't know how to get this end off here, but I guess I'll just work this end here and then just see what happens from there. I really don't know. Never had one of these apart, so anyway, it's fun. Well, this thing had a full 10 gallons of fuel in here, so that was a fun thing to empty. Looks like I need a new clamp. I'll get this put back on. Hose back on, and we'll move on. Fuel, I got this Bever gas can. These things are really nice, you guys. If you're looking for a good gas can. It empties really quick. I know I sped it up, but that was about, I think it was less than a minute to empty that whole it was about 4 gallons in that 5-gallon container. Pretty good for a gas can like that. Way faster than my regular plastic cans. Really nice. Not bad, not a bad price. Check the link in the description. The reason I'm doing these sponsorship things, because listen, I can't afford to buy a lot of stuff right now. So it's really nice that these guys send me stuff for free. You know, I don't want to do sponsorships on anything that's not related to what we do, and I won't do anything that's not, I consider, a good deal. So keep that in mind. I try and look at them and figure out whether I think they're good before I get them. And if I don't think they're a good deal, I won't get it. And then I'll just, you know, go with something else. But every once in a while, I really need something, so I just get it because I just need it. And I can't buy it. So anyway, these here. This is from Walmart, and if you guys are looking at alternative batteries, maybe for your Volkswagen, this is a 96R, and these should fit in a Bug too. They're real low, 96R. A lot of places won't have a 42, so if you go to O'Reilly Auto Parts, it's probably the only place you'll be able to get one. You have to order it or whatever. And Group 42, and it's going to cost you like a lot there, a couple $100 for a battery. These are around $100 at Walmart. So they don't have them in the value start, but they do have this one. So I got this at Walmart. Just telling you the deals I get for you guys looking. I think this is fitting a VW Bug too. All right, I'll just spin on the new fuel filter here. All right, I could either use a Mighty Vac and suck it. I think that'll take a long time. Let me just pressurize the tank, and you guys can tell me whether stuff's coming out of there. Let's see. All right, that seemed to work pretty good. Okay, this smells like normal fuel. So I pushed enough through. Put a new filter on there. I got enough through there. I'll put this screw back in. You can't just crank a diesel. I mean, when when you run one out of fuel, the best way is to do what I'm doing. Bring the fuel up, fill the filter, actually even get it up further. Should probably try and get it into the pump so that it doesn't run dry. That's a key thing there. Not to run the pump dry, but it should go up pretty quick. Anyway, let's see if she starts. Fuel in the tank didn't smell that bad, but the fuel in that filter was, oh man, it was bad. So I think that might have been the real issue, was all right here. But anyway, so I can probably add a little bit of that fuel back into the tank. I'll let the glow plugs ride up a little bit. Glow plug rail is probably not working. I could put a little bit of, I don't know, pump's bringing it up. Let me see if there's anything coming out of here. That's the return. I don't see any smoke coming out of the tailpipe. So that's usually, it kind of smokes a bit. All right, guys, so I filled this. That was pretty empty, so that's kind of like filling the float bowl, because that's like inside the ejector pump. There's like this big area where it gathers the fuel together, and sometimes if it's dry in there, it's not able to. It's like a oil pump dry. It doesn't. It kind of has gears similar to oil pump, and if they're dry, they don't really want to bring the fuel in. So if I fill that up, got to be real careful not to get dirt down in there, that's for sure. And let's see if it works. Let's give it a shot. All right, so I loosened up this injector line. Let's see if it blows anything out of it. I'll get you guys up a little closer so you can see. Tell me what's going on. Nope. Nothing's going on here. We have to try pressurizing the fuel tank while I'm cranking it, which is a little tricky to do. She's out. That's when you never run around a diesel out of fuel, that's for sure. Anyway, see if I can figure this out. It looks like it's just not priming. So we'll go from there. All right, so I took the inlet side off, and the fuel smelled really bad. So I'm gonna have to crank it a bit more. It looks like it was full on this side, so it's sucking. Definitely getting up there. It's just gonna take a while. Don't want to crank it for too long, and then stop and let the starter cool off. Check the starter. It's not too hot. Let's crank it over again. Probably put a battery charger on it. Do it a few times. It always takes a while when it's a diesel that's been sitting. All right, so I cracked this injector line, got some fuel out of there. I got to do one. I did the last one. Let's see if it gets any fuel out of it. It's almost, battery's almost too low. I'll have to let it charge. Probably not enough to get it to start, but leaking out of there yet. Get that one a little more prime. All right, let's try it again. I mean, really need to run the glow plugs for a little bit, but. Well, it does run. That's a little scary sounding, isn't it? I think it's just a bad fuel. Let's work it through a little bit. Like the old fuel is in there. Well, it's very smoky. I think it's just the old fuel. I might have to do that for a while, and then just I'll just do that off and on and just let it work its way through. It's going to take a while. Make sure I don't have any leaks. Just let it burn some of that stuff out of the lines. That's what it is. It's got to be the old fuel in there. And this thing gets such good mileage, it'll take forever to get it through. Probably take me about 20 minutes of that. So I'll spare you guys of that, and we'll listen to it when I get it all done. There's just smoke everywhere. Stinks like old kerosene. Like I said, I just got to do that just for... I got to let the starter cool. Do that for another couple hours, maybe. I don't know. Just keep doing it until it burns it out of there. Get all that old fuel out of the lines, and then should be fine after that. All right, it's the next day. I came out here like several times and then tried to start it, and it just starts up and still does the same thing. So I don't, but it seems to be smelling better. I don't know. I know, you guys, the glow plug light, the glow plugs aren't working. It usually starts without that, just takes a little longer. I got nothing right now. Seems like it's gonna start. Seems like it's gonna do something. Usually when I smell the smoke, it starts to... How long after that it starts? I'll try and put on the gas, even though you're not supposed to do that. Might be a little too cold this morning. It's not that cold, but anyway, maybe I'll try and warm up the glow plugs real quick. I think the thing's out on it. I've got to check that. All right, so I pulled this thing off, and the return doesn't have fuel in it. So that's not looking good. It's not sucking. So I'm wondering if maybe, I don't know, it should have primed. Maybe I just didn't get enough fuel in the tank. I think I got another 5. I'm gonna throw some more fuel in it. Let me blow in there and let me just see if it comes out of here again. Well, it took quite a bit of air to get it to blow out of there. This makes me think we don't have enough fuel in the tank for it to prime properly. I mean, I don't know. It shows empty. It's kind of weird. Maybe the inlet hose down there is kind of high up in the tank, and let's add some more fuel to it. Maybe it's just running out of fuel. Seems plausible, especially when that thing's empty and took that much to prime it. Or it could be sucking air somewhere. One of the hoses could be cracked. I've checked them pretty good. They don't seem to be, but one could be cracked a little bit somewhere. And then what happens is, air is lighter than fuel, right? So it'll suck air before it'll suck fuel. That could be happening. So anyway, let's see what's going on here and see if I can get, put some more fuel in it, and then I think I'll pressurize it again and then try and push it up this thing here, just to get it into the pump maybe. I'm not sure how that'll work. I wonder if I took this end off. Maybe if I do that, it'll ventilate over here. I don't know. Let's try it. So it was successful. It looked like it was blowing some out of here a little bit. So I imagine that's full now. So that means the pump is full. I think that's how it works. It pulls fuel out of that whole thing like a float bowl, and the return goes in here. And then once it gets to where this is full, then it starts to drain it back to the tank through this line here. So it's like a float bowl for the fuel pump. And I think that was pretty empty. So anyway, I guess I'll try it without the warming up the glow plugs. Let's just see. I mean, theoretically, it should just fire right up, right? It's gonna take a minute to pump it from there to the lines. I smell something. I smell it burning. It smells cleaner than it used to. Smells more like diesel. All right, gave it 10 seconds. Well, still not a... Oh man, something is wrong. Well, I gotta let it set again. The battery's gotta come back up. It's cranking too slow. It's gotta be fully cranking or this thing just won't start. So anyway, I don't know what's wrong yet. It's kind of hard to figure out diesel stuff because it's just fuel. So, yeah, well, unless I just replace the fuel pump. Oh, that's a nightmare. It shouldn't be bad. I mean, it ran when it stopped. I don't know. Drove it all over the place and had no issues in it. Just sitting. Okay. That's it for that, I guess. We'll just see what's next. Well, I loosened up all the lines and there's no fuel coming out, and I opened this up all the way and there's no fuel inside there, so maybe I need to prime it a little bit more and try pushing more up. Let's see if it works. Maybe you guys can see if any fuel's coming out. I'll put you guys right here. Right, after a little more testing here, I found out that it's pumping. Like I had this one loose, it's starting to pump out of this one a little bit. It seems like it's just not pumping enough, and so the pump has probably some muck in it or something from the old fuel. And you know, the way I look at it is, you know, let's just do this. What do you think? I'll just put this in there, just pour a bunch of that in there, let it set a few hours, and try and see if it pumps it through. I mean, what's it going to hurt? The pump, it has to be rebuilt if I can't get it to clean out. So anyway, we'll try it. All right, I just stuck that in there. Let's just try it, I mean, right away, and then see if it does anything, and then we'll go from there. Huh. Throttle doesn't work. Maybe just running it through there will help. Throttle does nothing. Well, it sounds like it just ran that out of it. So the injector pump's working. It's just got some crap in there. Look at that. Look how slow it returns. It's just junked out. Let's just put some more in there. That seemed to work. I got it to run. Let's put some more in there and just let it set. Maybe that'll work. Well, the good news is it is running, so that's a big plus. I was getting kind of worried about it wasn't going to run. Well, my charger doesn't want to charge. There it goes. So I'll let that charge up some more, and then I'm just gonna leave that off. I bet you have to do that a few times. I may have to just fill it up, run it through, fill it up, run it through, and then try and, obviously the injector pump's working. There's definitely, this is where the issue is, because it was running, but then there was no throttle response. So the channels that are in there that do that portion of it are plugged with some old diesel crap. So maybe if I just let it sit, obviously the injectors seem to be cleared up because they're running all 4 cylinders. So, and it smelled really bad when it first started, and it started to smell better as it kind of got some of the stuff through. So anyway, I think, and it just ran whatever was in here out. So for some reason, it's not pumping from the other side. I may have to take that side out too and blow that out and put some more inside there because something is plugged up there. So I think we can probably get this thing to work. Hopefully, because I don't want to have to go through the hassle of taking it off and rebuilding it, putting it back on. It's a lot of work. So if I can get it to run without that, that'd be great. We'll check that out in a little bit, and I'll let you know. All right, I'll start this up again. Start up. Try and get it through all the passages. All right, that seemed to do something. It ran a little bit longer that time. Let me just pour something else in here. Let's try a little bit of good old Marvel Mistral. Let's see if that does any good. Yeah, there's good things about Marvel. It's funnel. So I'll fill it up with that. But the thing about this is possibly the solvents that are in here will help to kind of find its way through places that the other stuff wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know what's in the other stuff. This has some solvents in it. But it says it's good for gas and diesel, so let's try it. I think, I don't recall, but I think there's a check ball on this side that might be sticking a little bit. That's why it's not wanting to keep pumping, sucking this end, and it's only taking what's in like the float bowl portion. So I think there's a check ball in there that's not working, and that maybe that solvents will kind of eat that up. That's what I'm figuring. Anyway, we'll come back in a few hours and try that one out. All right, so I ran the Marvel Mistral out, and I didn't want to start very well on that. It took a bit. I had to warm up the glow plugs and everything. So but the thing I noticed, it did get some throttle response, because what I do is I'm putting it in there and then I'm leaving the throttle open. So what that's doing is, see, you notice how slow it is? It shouldn't normally be that slow. It's kind of sludgy in there or something still. But anyway, I'm going to try taking this one off here and then put some shop air to it. Maybe there's just, it's still having trouble. It's like it gets, as soon as it runs all the oil out of here, then it just stops running. So it's not, whatever the check ball is that's bringing the fuel in is getting stuck, so, or something, because I'm not getting new fuel to come in. It's just whatever's in, say, the float bowl area, it's running that out and then it just stops. But I do have throttle response. I was able to use the throttle, so that's good news. It's moving forward slowly. Man, it is slow. I'm gonna put a little more of this stuff back in there. It can run a little bit better on this stuff than it did. Let's see if it comes out the other end. I blew in there and there was definitely some stinky stuff coming out of there. You can see it filling up. See it filling up down there? I'm gonna put that back on. So I know it's connected there. Flowing that direction, it should somehow want to suck from there, though. You guys think it'll stay running? Crank it up. There she goes. It's firing off. Has some throttle response now. afraid to let off the gas. I think it'll die. I pump it. Up, maybe it'll start working. Almost idling. Ran that long. Well, it's definitely running again. I guess I could blow this out again, and it seemed like the Marvel Mystery might have helped more than anything so far. Definitely did something, huh? That and the other one, but I don't know if the other one really cleared it out. Maybe the Marvel Mistral did, because when I said overnight, that stuff in it seemed to work the best. Maybe I'll do that again. Try it again tomorrow. Just let it sit there. Seemed to, and then leave the throttle open. That's what I did before. So I kind of cleared up some of the passages in there, I think. I don't know, something's plugged up in there. Yeah, it sure does stink, though. Well, it just seems to be better. Every time I play with it, it gets a little better. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just play with this off camera. I'll see what happens. All right, I'm going to call this a partial success. So like I've got my ratchet here holding this thing open. I'm going to put it in a different position. A few different positions to try and clear out whatever's, I don't know how that thing works, if it's some sort of a rheostat, or I don't know how. There, that may be better. But I'm going to say this is a partial success. I'm going to leave this for a couple days. I think I'm just going to leave it with Marvel in it for a couple days and see if the solvents kind of find their way into loosening up some more stuff. And then we'll take another look at it. We're going to be doing the whole restoration on this truck. So we're going to get this resolved, but whether I have to do the injection pump or not, we don't know. Let's just leave it at that, and then we'll take a look at it on the next video and see how it goes. Maybe I'll do some tuning from there, and I'll let you know what I did on the next one. I'll talk to you in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe, and see your comments.